Well, it depends if they have to be out by 11 or they can still be seated at 10:30 and then they can enjoy their meal and they could leave by like 11:30. The problem is if that they come in at 10 o'clock, we have to let somebody know, hey, you have to be out of here in 45 minutes and you have to wrap up your meal, which is not really hospitable. So they haven't really determined those guidelines yet, but we do it in Fort Lauderdale. We have a curfew at 10 o'clock, and that's the way that we protocol is. Everybody has to be out by 10 o'clock, and then buildings closed and they leave. So it directly affects business. Seeing that the sun goes down about 8:30, 8:15, 8:30, people start to get ready, they get dressed. For those people going out, you only have that small window to go out, dine, and get in your car and go home.
So,
Oh, we would be done seating at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, you would come in. We want to give people the dining experience that they deserve, but we don't want somebody to come in 10:15, 10:30 and say you have 15 minutes. It doesn't make much sense. People get aggravated, and then we're not the ones making the ordinance. I do agree with some sort of curfew. I think they could have been a little bit more lenient and went to 12 o'clock because then it would have given you more time and then people get out the door. But I know we have a health crisis on our hands, and this is what they have to do. I'd rather have this than close altogether.
typically, till what time are you all open most days?
So we adjusted our hours for COVID, and with the team that comes in, and they put the task force together, which I think is greatest idea because everybody's on the same playing field. We closed at midnight. We didn't do any late night business, and we didn't want to be a bad actor, as so everybody speaks.
And we've heard that again.
Sure, I think, like I said, they created this task force, which they're super helpful. They come around, and nobody really knew the rules. So somebody across the street, I own Greece, they could have been doing something different than Rocco's. But now everybody's doing the same thing. And I think that my competitors have become my companions. We all work together. I can't speak for some bars. I don't own just the bar. And I don't know how that works, and I don't know how they open. But bad actors being, I guess there's some people out there that just opened up without serving food. But for us, 12 o'clock was the cutoff time. We don't have any live entertainment right now, and all we want to do is, as you can see, is try to open up in this difficult time, you know? Yeah, fill tables, yeah.
Um,
I think the data that they're gathering is that restaurants and bars right now are the number one offender. I don't know where they get that from. I'm not a health advocate, or I don't know anything about it. But I think what they're trying to do is control the younger crowd later on at night from gathering, and the places that are letting them do so prevent that from happening. That's what I think.
are you?
Yeah, people do want to go out. Some people have tested positive and they've gotten over the hump and they can go out in public maybe. And so we do see that people do want to drink, people do want to go out. In 3 of the other counties, I have 3 bars where the bar is actually open. So we know from those areas that people do want to go out, they do want to drink. We have security guards in place to keep people socially distanced at the bar, which in itself, being in hospitality, is very difficult. We're telling people it's got to be slower than busier. It's kind of strange. But we do see people do try to pull bar stools up to our bar, and we have to respectfully say there's no bar service right now. Well, we try to be as accommodating as possible. Some people do get political and they do get angry, and our social media platforms for reviews have now become grievances for people getting political. We don't make the rules. We have to follow them. I have a business to run. We had 1,900 employees before this happened. We have 1,200 now, which is great. I'm trying to keep those employees. So I'm going to do whatever they tell us to do to make sure that we're a good actor.
Across how many restaurants?
So the company has 10 restaurants with Rocco's, and then within the organization there's 16. Right, outside dining is very difficult in Florida because then the people, when it rains, luckily we have some tents and we've made some accommodations, but where do you go? And in California, where they just closed completely, I don't have the heart to tell 1,200 people, 1,200 families, hey, we got to shut down again. So I think that it's very important for everybody to follow the guidelines, to be good actors, and we're going to get through it. So you have the federal government, and then you have the state, and then you have the county. So you kind of don't, right, and the city, so you kind of really don't know how to handle it. Like in New York City, we have a restaurant that we signed a lease to be a full-service Mexican restaurant with 380 seats in downtown Brooklyn. We're not open. I can't sustain outside seating there. That restaurant's closed. 91 people out of work. I don't know if that restaurant's going to reopen. But you have Tampa, you have Naples, you have Orlando. Now Orlando became a very big hotspot. We had like a sugar high, it got really busy, and then it slowed down. Naples, it didn't seem that they were having the outbreaks there, so that restaurant was kind of the same as last year. But right now, on an average across the board, the restaurants are down about 35%. We've budgeted for this. We've worked with our very accommodating landlords. As you can see here, we took some vacant space next door. I think that if I believe the people that can get through this, to answer his question, that we're going to see numbers that we've never seen before once people feel safe to go out again. If there's a vaccine, if there's a cure, if they think that this is a... But the problem is right now, when we don't know, everybody's scared. So I was on the phone with somebody the other day talking about restaurants. I didn't mention food and beverage once. All I talked about was COVID and compliance and face masks and PPE and hand sanitizer. It's difficult, but I'm hoping that a cleaner, maybe we were too close together. Maybe everybody was too close. Maybe a cleaner, safer environment's going to work for everyone. Everybody seems to be working together. Restaurant people are resilient. They're pretty good, you know, and I came from the place where we can be adaptable. And I'm trying to give everybody the answers that I know that are great, but then like today, we schedule everybody to work until 12 o'clock tonight, and now people lost hours, and we have, you understand, it's difficult. It's hard. No, today's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. It's 12:10, and I have nobody here. So no, I'm not seeing a mad rush of people coming into the restaurant. And when we do get to capacity, because we're only 50% inside, it's very hot out, we don't see it.